Hey guys, in this video we're going to be checking out the new RunCam Swift Micro. And this is a 5.5 gram CCD 600 TV line FPV camera. It features very similar to the original Swift and the mini Swift, and has a voltage range of 5 to 36 volts, and has a connection here for your OSD setup cable, but it does not actually come with that. So let me go over quickly what it does come with. So you get a couple of cables here. These are the 3-pin connectors that go into the back of the camera for power and video. You get a few screws for mounting, but no bracket for mounting. And no instructions, which is unusual, but it comes with this little card here and some instructions here to go online to this URL to get the actual instructions. So it's kind of a new way of doing it. Maybe they're trying to save some paper and weight. Not too bad. So quickly give you a couple of measurements here. It's about 19 millimeters in this direction, and in this one it's also about 19 millimeters, so it's almost a perfect square. And then front to back, it's also about 19 millimeters. And if you include the connector, it's going to be a little bit more. I'm talking about 22 if you include the connector from the front to the back. Just for comparison purposes here, this is the 1.2 gram 1000 TV line micro camera that I haven't actually reviewed this yet, but this is what it looks like. But this one here on the right is CMOS only. Obviously the Swift Micro is CCD. Also this is 600 TV lines versus 1000 TV lines on something like this. But just to give you an idea what the size and size difference looks like here. 1.2 grams obviously much smaller, but the difference is that the one on the right is CMOS and the one on the left is CCD. And here's a look at it next to the Swift Mini. So you can see it's quite a bit smaller than the Swift Mini. You can see the lens sizes are also quite a bit different. You can see here that the Swift Mini uses a different size lens. It's a standard size lens versus on the Micro it's a little bit smaller. And yeah, definitely I think the front to back difference in size is quite a bit more. In terms of the profile, you can see that the board sizes are probably pretty similar if you take away this whole case. So it looks like they might be using the same type of electronics from the Swift Mini in the Micro in terms of the board, and maybe just using a different type of lens housing here. So let's see what the image quality is like. Maybe they're using a small lens here to shrink it down. That might be the biggest difference. So I just mentioned previously, it does not come with the OSD cable. This is a little joystick that lets you get into the setup menu. This is the one that actually came with the Swift, and it should work with this connection, but it does not come with this. So if you've never had a RunCam product before, you'll probably need to get this if you want to change any of the settings. So okay, I'll plug this in, power it up, and we'll take a look at the settings and what this actually offers in terms of features. I have a feeling it's going to be pretty much the same as the Swift and the mini Swift. Okay, so I got the camera plugged in now and feeding the video to my FPV monitor, and just a quick look at my messy workbench area. And I'm going to go ahead and I'll put the lens cap on here so we can take a look at the settings menu. Okay, so go ahead and go into the settings, and this looks pretty much exactly like the Swift and the Swift Mini. And I'm going to fly this with the stock settings before I make any adjustments, and leave these alone. Just want to show you what they look like. So nothing here that is unexpected, so I'm going to go ahead and exit. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and install this into my Tomoquad's Predator X here. I think it's going to fit into this top pod here pretty nicely. It looks like it's about the same width here. I'm going to put that in here along with, I'm going to probably use the VTX03 as the video transmitter. Okay, so here's a quick look at the Swift Micro installed into the Tomoquad's Predator X. Normally a little standoff here is in the top, and the camera lens comes in between these two standoffs for the all-in-one cameras. But this is not actually, this pod is not actually designed for the Swift Micro. Hopefully they'll come out with a new pod for the Predator X that will be designed for the Swift Micro. So you can see here that using the existing pod here, that the Swift Micro does stick out a bit here and is exposed. So in the crash here in this direction, the camera will probably get damaged. Hopefully I won't be crashing it. And I have it just connected to the VTX03. It's a power switchable micro video transmitter, 0 to 200 milliwatts. And basically just have this guy powering the camera. This provides 5 volts out into the camera, and so I already tested it and it works pretty good. But if you guys are wondering, what kind of quad to put these little micros into, this is probably one of them that you might want to put into something like this. So if you're wondering how I got it in, this is how I got it in, and I'll go ahead and I'll run some flight footage here next. Let me know if you guys have any questions, and I'll talk to you guys in the next video. So here's some side-by-side footage from the Swift Micro and the Swift 2. These were flights right after each other on the same day in the same locations to give you an idea what the light handling is like between these two cameras. And they're pretty close. Hard to tell the difference. I might even say that the Swift Micro looks a little bit better. The only difference between the two cameras, other than the size and the weight, is that the Swift 2 has a bigger lens. I think it's an M12 lens, and the Swift Micro has a smaller lens. It's an M8 lens. So the image quality is really coming down to the different lenses, because I've been told that the same sensor is on both of them. It's both a Sony CCD 600 TV line sensor. And you see the color reproduction and image quality is pretty similar between the two.